Welcome to today's news wrap up. Let's dive right into the top stories making headlines today. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has vowed to block election integrity legislation requiring proof of citizenship during voter registration. Think about it. There's only one reason why you would not want to verify to make sure that people are citizens. That's because you want people to be able to vote that are not citizens. That's the only reason why you would want a bill not to happen. The bill, spearheaded by Republican Senator Mike Lee, aims to prevent non-citizens from voting, but has been criticized by Schumer as a Republican, quote, assault on democracy. Everything is an assault on democracy. Wanting non-citizens to not be eligible to vote. That's an assault on democracy. Are you for real? He has threatened to use the filibuster. You know, the filibuster, a procedural tactic he previously sought to abolish. He called it Jim Crow era tactics to halt the bill's progress. And former Democratic President Joe Biden and Barack Obama had labeled a filibuster a Jim Crow relic. Yet Schumer is now embracing it to block legislation he opposes. The hypocrisy abounds with the Democrat Party. Y'all know I talk about the hypocrisy, it seems like, on a daily basis. But the bill passed the House with bipartisan support, but failed to advance in the Senate after Schumer refused to take it up. Republican lawmakers argue that ensuring only American citizens vote is a common sense policy, while Schumer and his allies claim it would restrict access to voter registration for millions. How? Everyone has IDs. And I talk about it all the time. Every single state has it. If you can't afford an ID, you can apply to get your ID for free. You can get registered for free. You doesn't have to pay anything if you don't have an ID. So why? So where's the problem? Oh my gosh, they're deceitful. They're so deceitful. They're not being honest. Shoplifters have admitted to stealing from Jeff Bezos' owned companies, including Whole Foods, as a form of protest against his wealth and business practices. I mean, this is ridiculous. Some individuals view their actions as a Robin Hood-like endeavor, taking from the rich to benefit themselves. But we know Robin Hood, he gave to the poor. It wasn't for the benefit of himself. Motivations range from grievances over Bezos' political shifts to his handling of the Washington Post. Critics argue that such thefts are counterproductive, potentially harming workers and leading to higher prices or stricter return policies. Despite these concerns, shoplifters justify their actions as symbolic resistance against corporate power. No, you are committing crimes. Bezos' recent changes to the Post's editorial focus on his interactions with political figures have further fueled public debate. Democratic strategist James Carville has criticized his party for mishandling the 2024 election, arguing that it could have been avoided. A new book reveals that former President Obama privately pushed for a primary after Biden withdrew but was blocked by party leaders. Obama reportedly did not want Kamala Harris as the nominee, understandably, believing a contested primary would lead to a stronger candidate. And I can't believe it, but I'm actually agreeing with Obama on this one. However, House Democrat James Clyburn quickly endorsed Harris, ensuring she became the nominee without competition. Carville blamed this decision for the party's loss, saying Democrats were poorly served by the process. You know, who would have thought Democrats actually not being democratic, right? We talk about it all the time. The hypocrisy. He also noted that Biden restricted Harris from diverging on policy, which hurt her ability to appeal to voters during the campaign. Former Biden campaign staffer Ashley Allison expressed feeling misled by White House officials who assured her of Joe Biden's capability to run for re-election. I mean, I blame yourself. You were close to this man and you didn't know what was going on. Are you for real? You couldn't tell his mental acuity was worsening? You couldn't tell that? During a CNN interview, she criticized former Chief of Staff Ron Klain for revealing that Biden appeared fatigued and disengaged during preparation for a critical debate. Allison emphasized that voters deserve transparency regardless of political affiliation. Klain's comments, featured in a new book, described Biden as out of it during the debate prep, sparking broader discussions about his fitness for office. Supporters like Ana Navarro defended Biden. Of course she would. Supposed Republican, right? But she doesn't have a Republican bone in her body. Suggesting his condition during the debate was an anomaly. It's an anomaly. While critics labeled the situation a cover-up. It's an anomaly. Too bad we Republicans and conservatives been talking about his mental acuity for years, and y'all been covering it up. It wasn't a one-off. You just don't, these things just don't pop up out of thin air. We knew this was happening. But the revelations have reignited debates about leadership, accountability, and voter trust. President Trump announced a significant increase in tariffs on Chinese imports, raising the total effective rate to 54%. Beijing criticized the move as unilateral bullying and warned of potential countermeasures, including targeted tariffs and export controls. I would add, or release another man-made thing. Why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank right now? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Another COVID. I'm tripping today. Sorry, it's been a long day, y'all. But the tariffs aim to reverse decades of deindustrialization in the U.S. and address national security concerns. Analysts predict economic repercussions for China, including a rise in problem loans and challenges to its export-driven economy. The situation underscores escalating tensions in global trade and the potential for further economic disruptions. So be ready. Y'all need to start saving up now. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but ultimately, I think this is for the better. I'm talking about tariffs. MasterCard has reversed its advertising censorship policy following pressure from a shareholder and legal advocacy group, Alliance Defending Freedom. The financial corporation previously played a key role in creating the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, which targeted conservative viewpoints and pressured companies like Spotify to remove content. A congressional investigation revealed that GARM had collaborated with the Department of Homeland Security to develop misinformation detection tools, further fueling concerns about censorship. MasterCard ultimately agreed to make independent advertising decisions, preventing outside groups from influencing its marketing strategy. Other corporations, including PepsiCo and Johnson & Johnson, have also cut ties with similar censorship organizations this year. Joe Rogan recently called for Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to investigate the production costs of Disney's live-action Snow White, which totaled $250 million. Y'all know I talked about it before. And that's not including the advertising and all of that stuff. How does it cost that much to make a movie? That is ridiculous. And it turned out to be a terrible movie. The CGI in it was ridiculous. But he questioned why such a large budget was spent without ensuring the lead actress remained apolitical, suggesting that controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler contributed to the film's struggles. The movie faced setbacks even before its release, which I talked about before. I reported on this before, with backlash over the CGI rendered dwarfs and Zegler's public comments. Disney ultimately scaled back promotional efforts in response to negative reactions. Opening weekend ticket sales amounted to just $43 million, far below expectations, fueling further criticism of the project. Mayor Eric Adams is bypassing the Democratic Democratic primary to run for re-election as an independent, aiming to appeal directly to all New Yorkers with a public safety-focused platform. He argues that his campaign was hindered by federal corruption allegations, which were only dismissed this week. Adams has clashed with his party over issues like criminal justice reform and the handling of illegal immigration. Positioning himself as a moderate, well, he's not really a moderate, but while most of the city supports his policies, his decision raises the possibility of a crowded general election, especially if former Governor Andrew Cuomo secures a Democratic nomination. I mean, how soon they forget that how many people died under Cuomo and his policies during COVID. Remember how he put COVID patients in with the elderly, and a lot of the elderly died from it. Remember all of that? And he has the audacity to run for mayor. Are you for real? The far left Working Families Party may also field a candidate, adding another dynamic to the race. If Adams can regain momentum, his independent bid could make the election year unpredictable. Lastly, President Trump announced reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries, including a 10% baseline tariff on all imports starting April 5th, 2025. He emphasized that these measures aim to protect American workers and counter unfair trade practices by nations imposing high tariffs on U.S. goods. Trump stated that the tariffs provide leverage for negotiations, noting that several countries have already reached out to the White House following the announcement. Critics have labeled the move as a trade war, while Trump defended it as a strategy to ensure the U.S. benefits from global trade. The administration released data highlighting disparities in tariff rates, reinforcing its stance on the need for economic fairness. Well, that's all for today's news wrap-up. Stay tuned for more updates. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.